What joke has made you laugh every single time you heard it, without fail? So two cows are in paddock talking to each other and on if the masks. Hey, have you heard about this mad cow's disease? The second cow says, I don't know mate, I'm a tractor. It's a bit of a long one, but the punchline always gets me. An eccentric billionaire wanted a mural painted on his library wall, so he called an artist. Describing what he wanted, the billionaire said, I am a history buff and I would like your interpretation of the last thing that went through customer's mind before he died. I am going out of town on business for a week, and when I return I expect to see it completed. Upon his return, the billionaire went to the library to examine the finished work. To his surprise, he found a painting of General Customer standing on a hill next to Jesus Christ. Surrounding this were hundreds of Indians in various sexual positions. Furious, he called the artist in. What the hell is this? Screamed the billionaire. Why, that's exactly what you asked for, said the artist smugly. No, I didn't ask for a mural of pornographic filth. I asked for an interpretation of customer's last thoughts. And there you have it, said the artist. I call it, Jesus Christ, look at all these fricking Indians. I was truly expecting him to return to painting of an arrow. A man traveling by plane finds himself seated next to a talking parrot. When the steward brings the drinks cart around, he says, "Excuse me, could I get a..." "Hey, give me a beer and make it quick, you lazy frick," says the parrot. A beer is quickly placed in front of the bird and the steward moves on, leaving the man thirsty. The man sees the steward coming back around and asks again, "Could I please?" Again the parrot interrupts him. "Another fricking beer. Right the frick now." The steward quickly serves the parrot a second beer and moves on. The parrot looks over at the man, who is upset and confused, and offers some advice. "There's no time for politeness up here, buddy. You got to be rude, and you'll get what you want." The man stands up and yells toward the steward's back, "Hey, asshole! I want a drink right now." The steward grabs the man and parrot up from their seats and tosses them out the emergency door at 12,000 feet in the air. "You know," says the parrot to the man as they fall, "that was a pretty bold move for someone who doesn't know how to fricking fly." There were three friends named Juan, Pedro, and Augustine. They were on a trial to see if they deserved to live or not. The leader says, "Bring me 10 of the same fruit." Juan came first carrying 10 rambutans. As soon as he arrived, the leader then said, "I will put this all in your butthole. If you move, laugh, or anything that you react, your head will be chopped off." As soon as the first rambutan was about to be inserted, Juan laughed, chopping his head off. Augustine came next with 10 grapes. As soon as the leader was about to put the final grape, Augustine laughed, ending his life as well. Meanwhile in heaven, Juan was shocked about Augustine's death and asked, "You were so close, why did you laugh?" Augustine responded with, "Because I saw Pedro carrying 10 durians. Believe me, it's disgusting. But I have to say this made me laugh more than I need, not because of the butt jokes, but because of the way they say it. The thing is, it was my grandfather who told me this." How many men does it take to cut down a tree? 3. It's a 3-man job. A colon, do you want to hear a chemistry joke? B colon. A colon. Do you? B colon, I'm sorry, did you want a reaction? Love means nothing to a tennis player. Clever. A well-placed, that's what she said, will always get a snicker out of me. Especially when it's during a serious conversation. What does it mean when white sticky stuff falls from the sky? The Lord's coming. Jesus is coming, are you ready? Don't be sad, cause sad spelled backwards is dat and dat not good. What does a gay horse eat? Hi. A horse walks into a bar and the barman says, "Why the long face?" Lamest joke ever, but I've always found it hilarious. Because my alcoholism is destroying my family. Horse says I have cancer. What's the difference between my eggs and a fish? The fish moved when I fricked it. Why did little Timmy drop his ice cream cone? I don't know, why? Because he got hit by a bus. Where does the general keep his armies? In his sleeves. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson decide to go on a camping trip. After dinner and a bottle of wine, they lay down for the night, and go to sleep. Some hours later, Holmes awoke and nudged his faithful friend. "Watson, look up at the sky and tell me what you see." Watson replied, "I see millions of stars." "What does that tell you?" Watson pondered for a minute. "Astronomically, it tells me that there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, I observe that Saturn is in Leo. Chorologically, I deduce that the time is approximately 3:15. Theologically, I can see that God is all-powerful and that we are small and insignificant. Meteorologically, I suspect that we will have a beautiful day tomorrow." "What does it tell you, Holmes?" Holmes was silent for a minute, then spoke. "Watson, you idiot. Someone has stolen our tent." "BF, hey, do you know Joe?" "GF, I'm sorry, it was just a one-time thing, I promise." "BF, Joe Mama." I fricked a fat girl in an elevator. It was wrong on so many levels. I threw a boomerang at a ghost yesterday. That's gonna come back to haunt me. Q: How many woke millennials does it take to screw in a light bulb? A: That's not funny. Three guys are stuck on a deserted island. A genie grants them one wish each. First guy wishes to be with his family. Second guy likes that wish and wants to be with his own family. Third guy pauses for a second. Then he says he misses his friends and wishes for them to come back. So there are these two muffins in an oven. One looks to the other and say, "It's sure it's hot in here." The other muffin says, "Oh my God. Look. A talking muffin." Two peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted. Have you heard about those new corduroy pillows? They're making headlines. A man traveling by plane finds himself seated next to a talking parrot. When the steward brings the drinks cart around, he says, "Excuse me, could I get a..." "Hey, give me a beer and make it quick, you lazy frick," says the parrot. A beer is quickly placed in front of the bird and the steward moves on, leaving the man thirsty. The man sees the steward coming back around and asks again, "Could I please?" Again the parrot interrupts him. "Another fricking beer. Right the frick now." The steward quickly serves the parrot a second beer and moves on. The parrot looks over at the man, who is upset and confused, and offers some advice. "There's no time for politeness up here, buddy. You got to be rude, and you'll get what you want." The man stands up and yells toward the steward's back. "Hey, asshole. I want a drink right now." The steward grabs the man and parrot up from their seats and tosses them out the emergency door at 12,000 feet in the air. "You know," says the parrot to the man as they fall, "that was a pretty bold move for someone who doesn't know how to fricking fly." I miss talking parrot jokes. A 911 operator receives a phone call. He asks, 911, "What's your emergency?" On the other end, a man begins talking rapidly. "Hello. I'm out in the woods on a hunting trip and my friend just collapsed. I think he might be dead." The operator says, Whoa, calm down. I can help. First, we need to make sure he's dead." For a moment, there's silence. Then, a gunshot is heard. Back on the phone, the other man says, "Okay, now what?" That was a winner in a world's greatest joke contest a while back, I remember. It's the day of the World Series and it's the Dodgers vs the Giants. A teacher asks her class of kindergartners, who here is rooting for the Dodgers. And everyone raises their hand except one kid. "We'll call him Billy." So the teacher asks Billy, "What? You're a Giants fan?" Billy replies, "My dad's a Giants fan, my uncle's a Giants fan. I guess I gotta be a Giants fan too." And the teacher says, "What if your whole family was a bunch of morons? Would you be a moron too?" And so Billy replies, "Well, if we were morons, we'd be Dodgers fans." Why did little Timmy drop his ice cream cone? I don't know. Why? Because he got hit by a bus. Why do I like this joke? Is there something wrong with me? What did the paramedic say to the dentist that got stabbed? "You're bleeding because you don't floss enough." OMG, the dentist always tells me this. You've been hit by. You've been struck by. A subliminal. Clever. Now that song is stuck in my head. When her mom said she was proud that she had you. She wouldn't lie. She would just flat out say she wasn't proud. Not a joke. What do you call a fly with no wings? A walk. Three men are walking through a forest on their way back home, when they stumble upon a lamp. One of them picks it up, rubs it, and out pops a genie. It booms, "You have finally freed me after all these years, so I'll grant each one of you 3 wishes. The first guy immediately blurts out, "I want $1 billion. Poof. He's holding a printout that shows his account balance is now in fact $1,003,50. The second man thinks for a bit, then says, "I want to be the richest man alive." Poof. He's holding papers showing his net worth is now well over 100 billion. The third guy thinks even longer about his wish, then says, "I want my left arm to rotate clockwise for the rest of my life." Poof, his arm starts rotating. The genie tells them it's time for their second wish. First guy says, "I want to be married to the most beautiful woman on earth." Poof, a stunning beauty wraps herself around his arm. Second guy says, "I want to be good looking and charismatic, so I can have every girl I want." Poof, his looks change and the first guy's wife immediately starts flirting with him. Third guy says, "I want my right arm to rotate counterclockwise until I die." Poof, now both his arms are rotating, in opposite directions. The genie tells them to think very carefully about their third wish. First guy does, and after a while says, "I never want to become sick or injured, I want to stay healthy until I die." Poof, his complexion improves, his acne is gone and his knees don't bother him anymore. Second guy says, "I never want to grow old. I want to stay 29 forever." Poof, he looks younger already. Third guy smiles triumphantly and says, "My last wish is for my head to nod back and forth." Poof, he's now nodding his head and still flailing his arms around. The genie wishes them good luck, disappears, and the men soon go their separate ways. Many years later they meet again and chat about how things have been going. First guy is ecstatic, "I've invested the money and multiplied it many times over, so me and my family will be among the richest of the rich pretty much forever. My wife is a freak in the sheets. And I've never gotten so much as a cold in all these years." Second guy smiles and says, "Well, I build charities worldwide with a fraction of my wealth. I'm still the richest guy alive and also revered for my good deeds. I haven't aged a day since we last met, and yes, your wife is pretty wild in bed." Third guy walks in, flailing his arms around and nodding his head, and says, "Guys, I think I freaked up. Thank you so much for this, man. I've been having a rough time lately and this is the first time I've laughed in ages, like throwing my head back and laughing. Laughing my freaking ass off in class, bro. This is really good, Ohayo. A penguin and a seal are going on a road trip to the beach together on a bright, hot, sunny day. Their car breaks down on the side of the highway and they call a tow truck and get towed to the nearest town. At the mechanic shop, the mechanic takes a brief look under the hood and says he should be able to get them back on the road in an hour. So the penguin and the seal have an hour to kill. They decide to walk over to an ice cream parlor down the road they passed. It's not far away, but penguins and seals can't walk very fast, so it's a 20 minimum walk. Of course, an ice cream parlor on a hot sunny day is a very busy place, so they wait in line another 20 minutes before they get their 2 vanilla soft serve cones. Realizing it's a 20 minimum walk back and their car would be ready in 20 minimum, they decide to eat and walk at the same time. With the sun beating down, their ice creams are melting quickly. The seal manages to gulp his down in a couple of bites. No mess. The penguin, however, is struggling. His beak is doing a poor job eating the ice cream and it is melting badly and dripping all over his front. They forgot their napkins. By the time they get back to the mechanic shop, the penguin is covered in white sticky ice cream. And the mechanic is just slamming the hood shut on their car. The mechanic turns around and says, "Well, it looks like you just blew a seal." The penguin says, No, it's just ice cream." Is this funny?